Welcome to the Ben Buzz. I'm Benny King, and we had a really great week one of NFL. And I had made a preview video and then reaction to preseason, but have not made one following the regular season. And it was really a great week one. Had a lot of games, a lot of surprising teams played very well, and some incredible performances, especially Sunday Night Football, which we'll get to later. And joining me on the show this week, we have someone who's certainly very educated in the realm of NFL. Thanks for joining the show, Mehul.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. And we've kind of done a lot more college football episodes. We're trying to differentiate a little bit, and we had it really was a great week one, and we kicked it off with a very interesting matchup with the Cowboys and the Eagles, and Cowboys in the wake of losing Micah Parsons. We thought they would struggle a lot more than they did. In this game, I predicted the Eagles to win by a lot more than they did, and Cowboys surprisingly kept it a little close. I was pretty surprised, especially losing Parsons.
Yeah, I would have to say so as well. I mean, they were pretty good against the run. I mean, all things considered. I mean, Saquon obviously had some moments, but they
Right.
made him really well.
Yeah. And even like Javonte Williams ended up looking pretty good, and then Miles Sanders, the former Eagle, he did end up having that fumble. Which, if you look at the final score,
Yeah.
and they were in scoring territory, so maybe that determines the outcome of the game. And then there are a couple balls there that maybe CeeDee Lamb should have caught. Like the Cowboys were really in this game. I didn't think they were going to be in it the way that they were.
I honestly was actually I think I picked the upset happening because I thought that the Cowboys would be more motivated this week, especially after losing Micah, and they would coming with more energy and more fire. And obviously after seeing the banner being raised, and which is kind of silly that Philly did not have their players out seeing the banner, which is not a guarantee to happen every year.
Right.
That's actually an interesting
Right.
concept.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were talking about that.
I don't know.
That was really silly, and it's only their second one in team history, and it should be almost every player on that team. It's their first one ever, so I don't really understand. Just watch the banner. I don't know why they're trying to act tough like that, but I mean, yeah, I agree. And Dak looked pretty solid actually. He didn't have a passing touchdown, but he was pretty efficient. 21 through 34, almost hit 200. And maybe you put that on the receivers where you say a couple drop passes away would have easily been at 200. But Jalen, he kind of outdid Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts was a lot more efficient, 19 for 23.
Yeah.
Both played solid, but this was really in the run game though. Because Jalen Hurts on the ground had two touchdowns, Javonte Williams had two touchdowns, Saquon had a touchdown. It was an ugly game sort of, and then we had the weather delay, but it was a very interesting game, and I think both teams were kind of rusty, and I think it took a minute, especially with the defenses, because that first half scoring was insane.
Like with the Cowboys running game being crazy efficient, Javante going up, a lot of that goes to Jalen Carter's spit
Right.
gate
Yeah.
incident. I mean, if Jalen Carter's there, I don't know if Javante has that down the ground.
Right. Yeah, I know. And oh yeah, I don't know because they were saying they thought Dak Prescott spit first, but it looked like he just spat at the ground. I don't know. It's just, but it's division
Yeah,
rivals too, so you take everything personal. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was just an interesting way to kick off the
Yeah, I
season.
know. And then I saw a thing where it said Jalen Carter's inspiring the youth because in the Florida and South Florida game, South Florida was driving and needed a field goal to win the game, and a Florida player got ejected for spitting on someone that gave him the first down, and they ended up winning with the field goal. So Jalen Carter inspiring the youth there.
Not the way that everyone
Right,
wants though.
inspiring is inspiring though. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but it's it's division
Yeah,
rivals. It's the first game, high
right. Yeah,
energy. The Cowboys win so bad.
yeah. They
I
really
mean,
came out swinging too. Yeah,
those yeah. Like CD had 7 catches for 110 yards. He was still electric. Those 4 drops though, on CD
yeah. I think the real problem was how impactful they were and when they happened, because it was when they really needed to move down the field to get a score. That's why they're harping on it a lot, which it
yeah,
is like kind of reasonable, but he didn't play bad throughout the game until that point, really.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys, Dak ended up playing really well, especially in the first half, but then not scoring any points in the second half is what really hurt them. I mean, I
Yeah.
like especially at half. Like in my prediction, I said the Cowboys were going to score 20 points overall, and so I was like, oh, they already have it at halftime. That's bad. And then they just didn't score again. Like that was crazy with how clicking they were in the first half, you wouldn't believe like how they just really didn't show up. And I think it was a tribute to the defense and adjustments that they made after Jalen Carter got out there.
Yeah, the Miles Sanders fumble changed the
I
game
know.
completely. Offenses, you could tell, were struggling in the second half.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And the Eagles, I thought they were the better team. They ended up taking care of business, and the former Super Bowl champions continue being undefeated after that game. Now, going into the next one, we had the other team that was in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, that ended up getting embarrassed against the Eagles. But this one felt like they had a better chance. And in Brazil, it was a very interesting one against the Chargers, and it was free on YouTube, the first one ever. So it was a very interesting game. And
Yeah.
everyone played pretty well, but Justin Herbert was the real story in this game.
Man, I think that's the best game I've ever watched Justin Herbert play.
I
Like
know.
he was so poised. He was like I've seen moments where Justin Herbert like shakes in the pocket and like makes a mistake of like the wild card game, the four picks stuff. But
Right.
this was a great like response to that game, and like hopefully it's a trend going forward. I mean, against a division rival. I mean it was in Brazil, so I mean, it being international could. It's actually interesting because sometimes those international games are confusing because like it's not always the favor that wins those games.
Right. Yeah, and it
It
was
could
in
be
the same
50-50,
field where
honestly.
we had the Cowboys and Packers last year, and everyone was kind of sliding around. That field was bad, and I was.
Eagles
What's
and
that?
Packers.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
And
the
the way
Eagles
everyone
and
was sliding
Packers, I
around
believe.
last year,
Yeah.
I was really worried because they were going back here immediately. I'm like, I don't know, but they said that in the broadcast they had made a lot of improvements to the field, and I mean, no one really looked like they were slipping around. It looks like they made legit improvements there. Yeah, and what I think was the biggest thing is that when the Chiefs and Chargers play, it feels like the
Yeah.
Chargers always has the upper hand for a little bit, and then they play really close, and then they get too conservative, and they let the Chiefs back in it, and the Chiefs get a last second field goal, or they go down and score a touchdown. Where this time the Chargers, I really want to attribute their aggressiveness, the way they went down the field, and Justin Herbert and they had the gall to throw another touchdown. And that was really the big thing where it's like it feels like they always slow it down and then towards the end of the game they like the aggressiveness that they played and continuing to score, and I think they remember those losses of really and they really wanted to put the Chiefs away, and I'm really glad they did it. I'm really happy for Justin Herbert here.
Yeah, I really respect the aggressiveness. I mean, Justin Herbert had 30 per pass attempts. I don't think there was a single game last year where he
Right,
had more than 30. It was just pound the rock like
right,
that's how Jim Harbaugh plays. We saw him at Michigan. He just pounds the rock and lets the quarterback work off
right.
play action
Yeah, and I
or
mean
like
Justin Herbert. I mean, even
some
before Harbaugh got there, it was kind of the same way with what was it, Joe Lombardi? That was the offensive coordinator, where it was very reserved, and they didn't really let him show off his talents, and that's what really changed in this one because the three touchdowns and 318 yards was huge. But I mean, he was making plays
yeah.
with his legs. There was even a huge one where it ended up getting called back, but it just shows the aggressiveness that they really had, and they really, really wanted this game, and they got it.
I honestly felt like the game really swung when Travis Kelsey
I know.
injured Xavier Worthy. Like that was
I know
huge
that
for
was so
the city.
crazy. And I don't know. I mean, they're trying to do the crossing routes to get a guy free, but and then
Yeah.
the defense was just too good, and they got him too close together, and that's so you hate
Yeah.
to see a guy get injured like that, especially friendly fire. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
I would say Mahomes was pretty solid, 24 for 39, 258, a touchdown, and the ground game. I mean, this is the best I've seen Mahomes run ever. I mean, he was like trucking dudes on the sideline. Like I've never seen him like. It was like a different energy. He was like desperate for something, like desperate to prove that he's still Mahomes. I mean, after we had got
right.
embarrassed in the
Yeah,
Super
and
Bowl.
especially in the regular season, he doesn't really do that too much. We really see him run in the postseason, where he sort of opens that up a lot more, but he's a lot more reserved with it in the
Yeah.
regular season. Probably because like injuries and stuff. But he really came out and definitely showed that aggressiveness. And I think both QBs played well, and I think both are going to do great. But after this game, I think the Chiefs are going to be fine because of everything they have. Andy Reid, like Patrick Mahomes, probably still the best QB in the league. But the Chargers, this was so huge for the Chargers. Do you think the Chargers have a chance? Do you think they're in that Super Bowl bubble now, or do you think you need to see a little more?
They're right on the edge. I mean, I just gotta like see it more. And I mean, it's
Right.
just one game, and like it was an international game, like I mentioned. I mean, those games are like confusing, and anything goes in those types of games. I mean, we need to see that toward like the entire season worth of that, and then we gotta see Herbert in the playoffs. Like, is he gonna be the Justin Herbert that was against the Texans and the Jags, or will he like grow and be better in those like tight spots like he was in this game? I mean, that huge 15-yard scramble
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever at the end of the game. I mean, that was huge. So we need to see those in the playoffs. And then if we see those, then I'll be ready to say that okay, the Chargers have a great defense. Their quarterback does not shake under pressure, and they have a great head coach. They're in Super Bowl level.
Yeah, I think so as well. And just that embarrassment that was that game against the Texans last year, where the Texans really weren't playing that great going into that game. So a lot of people thought the Chargers were going to have it easy, and then both teams didn't really show up. But the Chargers just had a really tough time scoring against a Texan defense that hadn't been playing well, a Texan team that overall wasn't that great. And I think this was a really great rebound for this Chargers team. Then we had a great game. Well, I don't know if you say great, but a surprising game, Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. How about Daniel Jones? 33-8, the Colts win. Indiana Jones is here.
I mean, that was that was shocking, to say the least. I mean, I predicted the Dolphins win, but I expected it to be a close game. But the way Daniel Jones performed in the end, in the entire game, is just insanity. And like, I don't know if that's going to carry on from this week to like in the future, or it's just like a one game wonder type
Right.
thing.
And I think the biggest topic out of this is that we weren't really high on either team. So it's like, well, were the Colts really that great or were the Dolphins just that bad? What do you think?
Uh, it's a mix of both. I mean, the Colts played like I would say a plus game, but those turnovers by Tua were ugly, and I mean ugly. Like some of those passes were like I don't remember this Tua from a couple years ago.
Right. Yeah, and I think people are going to really worry about his status overall with his concussions, and maybe that attributes to his play style. Do you think that has anything to do with it? Maybe.
I would say so. I mean, he's had I think 3 or 4 concussions in the NFL, and like his injury history part, even at Bama.
Right. Yeah, just not great. And Daniel Jones, I mean, he did really well. And even if you say the Dolphins aren't that great, the fact that the Colts like really put them away and put them away early, like this was over sort of in the first half. They were up 20-0. So like the Colts, even if the Dolphins weren't that great of an opponent, the Colts going out there and winning the way they did, I don't know. Maybe they are one of those, maybe not a top team, but maybe they start getting into that wild card conversation and really rival the Texans in this division this year if they keep playing like this.
It honestly just comes down to how Daniel Jones performs. Like, is he going to continue with this? Then yeah, they're going to be a wild card team. But if he goes back into New York, Daniel Jones, then we'll see.
Right. Yeah, and I had done it in one of my NFL episodes before where I was talking about this division that they're in the AFC South, and I had said like, oh, the Texans and the Jags, like I don't know who's really. It's one of the lesser divisions in the league, I think. And
Yeah.
the Colts were the only team that I didn't really give a chance to win it, and then they go and do this. I'm like, oh, maybe they have the best chance to win it all of a sudden because the Texans really didn't look great. So maybe the door's open for the Colts to have that home playoff game.
I think this game, this week, they're playing Denver against a great defense. I mean, we'll see how Daniel Jones performs against the Broncos. I mean, that'll be a huge um that'll be like a huge like way of like telling like how his season's gonna go. Because like the Dolphins, I'll be honest here, the Dolphins cornerback situation is not
Right.
great at all. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how he does against a team with a better defense, more well coached. I mean, let's be honest here, Mike McDaniel, like that guy, like I still don't know like why he's still their coach. I mean, bro is like he can't make adjustments.
Right.
He is uh as soon as they're down, like they don't know what to do, they go crazy. And the way he like addresses his team, it's just I don't know, it's just not head coach like. I mean, I think he's a good play caller. He's just not a good. NFL head coach, and that's the case for a lot of people.
Right. Yeah, and his biggest accomplishment so far with the Dolphins is losing to the Bills and Chiefs in a wild card matchup. So yeah, they haven't really had much success. And then losing Jalen Ramsey was definitely a rough one where you saw Jalen Ramsey had two plays in a row for the Steelers that pretty much won that game. More on that later. But I mean, the Dolphins, they're definitely in a rough spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyreek Hill in a few weeks' time is requesting a trade here.
Yeah, I can see that being the Devontae Adams situations last year. I mean, we'll just wait and see. I mean, indications are saying that Steelers and Kansas City are favorites for Tyreek, but we'll see. I mean, him paired up back with Mahomes. I mean, that's ideal for both players.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, Mahomes, where he's won more Super Bowls without Tyreek, which is pretty surprising. Where I feel like that's kind of a thing where like receivers are more kind of entitled nowadays, and not usually, but like when you're talking about guys like maybe Stephon Diggs, where they think like the success is because of them, and then they leave, and then you see how the Bills are doing without him, and then it's like, oh, maybe you made kind of a mistake there, where maybe Tyreek Hill is going to be like, you know what? I made a mistake leaving and want to go back to the Chiefs because even though he had that huge contract with the Dolphins, if he really wants to succeed, it's definitely like that's the most sure thing I think we can say this week is that Miami's not having success this year.
I mean, the conversation is also about like what the individual's priority is. I mean, Tyreek chose the bag.
Right.
He chose the lifestyle of
Exactly.
Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta sacrifice something.
Right. Yeah. And he went and got his big contract, so I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. And he was probably thinking, I already got my ring, so might as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out of there and tries to leave for a contender to get a few more. Then we had a crazy game. It was the best game of the week for a few hours until the one that happened that night. But Steelers Jets. This is one of the more, I didn't expect this one to be surprised this way. The Steelers are usually a very defensive team. They're usually very mid in how they win like low scoring, close games. And the Jets weren't supposed to be that great, but head coach Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields, they really did well. Steelers won 34-32, but I thought both teams showed up pretty good actually.
I mean, is vintage Aaron Rodgers back? I mean,
It looked
that
like
was
it. Yeah.
impressive. Yeah,
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. And they got DK Metcalf. He didn't have the best game, but they didn't do that bad. And Harrison Butker was the big story. He had hit a 55, a 60 that well in a game they won by 2 points was really the decider there as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean Rodgers, yeah.
I mean, can we talk about Justin Fields real quick? I mean, he showed a lot of guts this
I
game.
know. Yeah, and I don't know if we really realized how much the Jets were going to have in one year. I mean, Justin Fields, they brought him in, and this was a revenge game for both quarterbacks as well. With didn't mention that with Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
from the Jets, Justin Fields from the Steelers, and both of their second teams as well. And the Jets, I'm a lot more optimistic than I have been about the Jets in a while because I mean, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator at the Lions, comes over now. He's the head coach of the Jets, and I mean, in the first game, maybe he is a defensive head coach, and maybe defensively they didn't do that great with Rodgers playing the way he did. But overall, I think the Jets really played a great game.
yeah,
Yeah, and I had thought like when I was looking at yeah
yeah. Someone has to win those games.
yeah
Yeah, both teams played great, but in the first time in a very long time, I'm shaking on Pittsburgh's defense now.
I know that was the big surprise here, where the offense played so great, and then the defense. I mean, maybe Justin Herbert, Justin Fields is great, and like that Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, like they do have a lot of playmakers. Like, was it just that, or was there an issue with the Steelers' defense? Maybe it's just a week one issue, and maybe if their offense continues to
Could be.
play well, I mean, they have players. Jalen Ramsey, there were two plays down the stretch where he had defended a pass beautifully and then laid a crazy hit on Garrett Wilson on fourth down that ended the game. TJ Watt's a guy as well, where it's like they have guys. Like you would think that they would play better, but it's very possible that maybe the Jets' offense has just really improved in the span of a year.
Yeah, yeah. Think about being week one. Like they had 7 months off. That's a long time without like actual like football. I mean, of course, there's training camp
Right.
and the preseason. The starters barely play, and the defense was just gassed at that. Both defenses on. I mean, I do believe it's not an indication so far. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, the Steelers play Sam Darnold next week, so we'll see how he performs against them. I mean, unless it's actually a sign, or is it just like um it being week one and then like everyone's gassed and stuff like that?
Right, but at the end of the day, the Steelers did what they usually do against teams that are either of their same caliber or below them, where they just find a way to win.
Yeah,
And it'll be interesting when they play a team like the Chiefs or Eagles, or maybe now you put Chargers in that conversation. Those top teams where you say like the Steelers, it feels like they kind of lose to those teams by double digits, but then they beat the teams that they're supposed to by like a field goal or like a touchdown or so. But the Steelers team is different. And with Aaron Rodgers playing the way he did, he looked really comfortable.
we did.
I mean, I don't know. I think they could start contending. I don't know if how much stock you put in this because they very easily could have lost. But I mean, at least that offense is going to keep them in games, maybe because Aaron Rodgers really did good.
Yeah, he did. We just have to
Yeah,
wait and see.
and then right, yeah, and then we had an interesting one of the only toilet bowls of the week where we had Panthers Jaguars, and Panthers didn't play great. Bryce Young, I had a lot of optimism for him, especially after he got benched for Andy Dalton and then came back in and started to play a lot better. But I mean, the two picks was really the decider in this game, and the scoreboard they lost 10-26. But I mean, the Jags didn't play that great. I just think the Panthers really didn't show up for this one. Right? Well, yeah, three picks between
Yeah,
the two quarterbacks as well. Neither threw for 200. Yeah,
yeah,
it was a sloppy game. We saw Travis Hunter's debut. And he didn't do terrible. He led in receiving yards, I believe, with not receiving yards with catches. He only had 33 yards receiving, and then on defense, he only allowed a catch, but he wasn't really targeted too much. I don't know. I'm not really high on either of these teams. I had kind of talked about the Jags having a possibility to steal the division if the Texans have an off year like they did last year, but I feel like every year we're like waiting for Trevor Lawrence to really break out and become the generational talent that he was supposed to be, and I feel like it just hasn't showed up. The one year it kind of did, but in the year that it was like, oh, like he's here, he threw four picks in the first half of a playoff game, and people only remember it as like because he came back, and I think that was
yeah.
more on the Chargers because I don't know how you're up 27-3 and the other quarterback's thrown four interceptions and you find a way to lose that game. But great that he did that, and one of the quarterbacks. I mean, he has a playoff win on his resume, so I don't know. I'm not too high on either of these teams, but I mean, the Jaguars played good, but then with the Colts all of a sudden contending, and then if the Texans didn't play great, but if all of a sudden maybe this division gets a lot more and more competitive week after week
So you said this is it for Bryce Young? Like this is his last chance?
this season, yes, because I mean, this is his third season. He's already
Yeah.
been benched. Last year he was benched for a lot. I think that first starting in the first year, like I get that, and they probably shouldn't have done that. I don't think he was ready for that, and especially on a Panthers team that wasn't ready for him because they really just didn't have the talent to really support him. And then the next year, he ended up getting benched. But then when he came back in for Andy Dalton, he really did look good because I mean, he took the Chiefs to overtime. He won like an
Yeah.
overtime game with the against the Falcons. He played the Broncos decently close, and a lot of those games that they lost weren't really his fault. We're going into this. It's like if we see some more, it was really what Bryce Young are we going to get? Are we get the one post benching or the reason why he got benched? And we definitely got the reason why he got benched here. I mean, two picks is unacceptable. He barely cracked 150.
Yeah.
Just about 50% on his throws. I mean, this is just it wasn't a great game for him, and it was on the road. But like that's not a top team. Where if it's like it was the Eagles or like anything in that nature, where maybe we give him the pass. But like the Jaguars aren't supposed to be that great either. So this was a very. It felt like it was a winnable game for them. And with how the league is turning and there's a lot of like good teams and then there's kind of a distinction with like very great teams where it's like any games like this where you have a chance you really got to take advantage of them, and I mean they just really didn't show up.
Yeah. I think there was also like a rain delay in this game as well. It
Yeah, I
was just
know.
weird. There were a lot of delays this week.
Right, and I mean there were a ton in college football too. I don't know what's going on with the rain here, but yeah, I mean not too
Yeah.
optimistic about either of these teams, but the stock on Bryce Young has dropped for me because I don't know. I mean this was a very winnable game because I mean the Jaguars aren't that great either. I mean maybe they are. I don't know. It's week one, so it's hard to know for sure. But I was hoping that he would show up a lot more than he did. Then we had the Cardinals at the Saints, and this is another one that I wasn't too excited for. But the Saints, or the Cardinals, they do have decent talent. Trey McBride is a solid tight end. Kyler Murray, solid. Ended up beating who I think is probably going to be either the worst or one of the worst teams in the league with a win 20-13. So not super impressive, but it was good that Cardinals went in there and got the win. How'd you feel about this one?
Uh, I feel like if the Cardinals want to compete, this shouldn't have happened. I mean, this close of the game. I mean, but then again, week one on the road, things happen. I mean, I
Right.
was so surprised that the Saints
Right.
hanged in, and they had a chance late in the end to win the game. I mean, Rattler had a
I
solid
know.
performance. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll
Right.
play Shug next week or something.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean Rattler's not the answer. I don't think Chuck's the answer either. The
Yeah,
Saints, yeah,
it's yeah. I mean, Cardinals wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, solid day, 5 receptions, 71 yards, a touchdown. McBride was good. I mean, James Conner though, I don't know. He was kind of iffy. 12 carries, 39 yards. I usually expect better from him. I mean, James Conner has been consistent ever since he's been in the league. On the Saints side, Kamara had a decent day. Just no one spectacular except for Chris Olave, another hospital ball thrown by his quarterback. I mean, that guy.
I know. He's had
Yeah.
so many of those. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's a point where you think about
Yeah,
retirement.
I know. And I mean, or at least just
Yeah,
getting out of New Orleans because they're not
yeah,
valuing your health at all with how they're treating you. That's really bad because he's really talented, but he just keeps taking these hits, and eventually that weighs on you and just shaves years off of your
yeah.
career. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about the Saints too much. I mean, Rattler, I don't think he's the guy. And I mean, maybe eventually if they get like Shuck in there, maybe, but he's already not starting. Like he's already not like that guy, and I think it would take a while to click. And then he's already a much
Yeah,
older guy, where I feel like you can make the excuse for Bo Nix and Michael Penix, where it's like it was their first year, but they had great careers in college at top programs and were ready to come into the NFL and both played in their rookie year, Bo Nix especially, and both of those QBs look great. But when you have a QB like Tyler Shuck, who didn't have that type of college career, who was so injury riddled at Louisville, and then you draft him that early, and I know like maybe like Shador Sanders shouldn't have gone that high, but when you're picking that guy over a guy that's not only healthy but younger and has had more college success, where it's like all right. But yeah, I
and
don't know.
and think about-
I don't have too much optimism
yeah.
for him. Yeah,
And then on the Cardinal side, like it just Kyler Murray has been the same player for like 6 years now. I mean, there's like I haven't
I
seen
know.
that leap of like he was also the first overall pick, and he's been in the league for 7 years now, and there's
Right.
no leap. I mean, he's been consistent. I mean, he's just been a top 20 to 15 quarterback in the league for like 5 years.
I know. And then with Tyler Shuck, I mean, I don't know what caused the Saints to pick him so high because if you've seen his combine highlights, they're bad.
Yeah,
He didn't do good at all. So I don't know what really motivated the
especially over
Saints.
guys like Dylan Gabriel,
I
Jalen
know.
Milrow.
Right. He was taken before all those guys. That's what really makes it really random.
Yeah, pick 40 when like the Saints could have drafted like I, another guy defensively. I mean, that early for a quarterback, and then you're not even starting him, and like Rattler beats him out, and it's just a lot of uncertainty. I mean, it just feels like Arch is headed towards New Orleans. That seems like the path that's destined.
Right. I mean, either that or the Dolphins. I mean, both are
Yeah,
not in for good seasons, and two has been good in the past, but like I don't know. I really don't know. And with Tua's health, I think that's the biggest thing. But Rattler, he's kind of not been too great wherever he's been. Where he was at Oklahoma, ended up getting benched for Caleb Williams, had to transfer to South Carolina. Still wasn't the best, but did end up getting drafted. The fact that he has a starting job in the NFL is really surprising, honestly.
I mean the QB competition is just that bad.
I know. Well, they gotta figure something out. Yeah, I don't know because these are not the answers, and I guess maybe they're just accepting the tank. But I mean, they were in this game. Like as much as
Yeah,
I thought, like the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals have a lot of weapons with Trey McBride, and then Kyler Murray. Even though he hasn't really taken that step, he's been pretty consistent. Like
yeah.
I didn't expect the Saints to be in this one as much as they were. Really.
It was just one of those games that were just on the background. Just
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Yeah, and some of those games, and we had just touched on Panthers Jaguars that just weren't that
Yeah.
eventful. But it got well. I mean, we had a team in the Commanders that also played pretty decent, but they were playing the Giants, and they ended up winning 21-6. And I don't know what the Giants are doing because I don't know why they're trotting Russell Wilson out there. He's looking rough. Ever since he went to the Broncos, he was off. And you could even go back to his last few years as a Seahawk, where maybe he wasn't as good as he was. And just honestly, I mean, the Broncos, that was such a disaster. Even last year, he was making 49 million just to not play for the Broncos. And then you go into like the
I've
yeah,
watched I watched every single Seahawks game, and with Russell Wilson, he has been this way since I would say late 2020. He has slowly regressed and regressed, and then the finger injury that he had.
right, yeah. And then I mean, he went into one of the best situations for a quarterback that is the Steelers, where they kind of have a thing where they almost make any QB look good. I mean, they won 9 games with Kenny Pickett. They won like 9-ish games with Mason Rudolph, where it's like that's a really good situation for a quarterback, which I think that was the right decision for Rodgers to go there over a team you think he could have went to the Saints because they need a quarterback. That would have been brutal. And I don't know. The Giants are really
17 37, 168 yards. I mean, he got sacked a lot of times as well. I mean, it just seems like this Sunday he's playing for his job. I mean, if the Giants like struggle, I mean, if they win close, he
right.
might still keep it. But if they struggle, I mean, there's no way Russ starts week 3.
Right, I know. Honestly, they should put Jameson because even though maybe he'll throw some interceptions, but at least that's entertaining. At least that's fun. At least that gives your guys good reps.
Yeah,
Because I mean, maybe he'll throw a couple picks, but he throws a lot of impressive touchdowns too. Where it's like if you're already expecting to
yeah,
lose anyway, because I mean, when you put Russell in where he's kind of been playing like so mediocre over the past years, and then you lose, you only put up 6 points over the game, no touchdown. And the Commanders, I mean, the Commanders didn't really have to do much. Jaden Daniels looked great though, 233 yards and a
yeah,
touchdown. They really didn't have to do much because the Giants felt like they kind of accepted defeat the second they went into this game. Where it's like, if you're doing that already, at least get your guys some good reps and some catchable balls. Just throw Jameis Winston in there. At least make it entertaining.
yeah. I mean, just having Russ back there just struggling. I mean, how much longer are Giants fans gonna suffer with that? I mean, like I was on Twitter and Giants fans were going crazy. It was insanity. And like it's the thing is, Steelers, and Broncos fans warned Giants fans that this was gonna happen. I mean, Russell Wilson has been this way for like a good 3 to 4 years now. Like,
Right.
there's nothing new about it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, at one point, like at not one point in that game did they put Jameson, did they put Dart in. Maybe it's too early for Dart, but like at a point when the game's lost, why do we keep trotting Russell Wilson on there? Because he's not winning you the game, that's for sure. And they really just kind of accept the defeat. And I really feel for guys like Malik Neighbors, where like I wouldn't be like you don't want to be doing this to your players, where it's like those players are going to want out at a certain point if you don't start to make some improvements and start even putting Jameson because at least they're going to get the ball. Where it's like this is just pitiful. It was a very pitiful performance, not only their quarterback but just I mean overall. 'Cause, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, Brian Dable. I mean, other than his first year there, I mean, he has been questionable. I mean, it just comes back to the conversation: was he a product of Josh Allen? And I mean, it didn't seem like that way the first year, but now these 3 years, he's been uh, terrible in like situations. But with the whole like not playing dart, it could have also been um, they didn't want him to like get injured or something like because the game's already lost. They don't want to injure their future and stuff. I mean, but I would at least play Jameis
right,
in that situation though.
right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean the Giants, they just really didn't show up for it, and they're not really going to win much with Russell Wilson. And with what you were saying about Dabble, yeah, I agree. And I made him, but I mean, he made Daniel Jones look pretty good for like the first time in his career. But then he kind of fell
Yeah,
off, and then Daniel Jones got that huge contract, which was a big mistake. And then it really just makes it worse when you see Daniel Jones doing great for another team, where people start to look back at Dabble and they're like,
exactly.
"Oh, like were you actually the problem?" Which I'm not sure if that's true, but yeah, I don't know.
But he's definitely on the hot seat.
Oh
Him
yeah.
and McDaniel, like those guys' seats are burning hot right
Well,
now.
McDaniels is much worse for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I mean, at least this was a team that was just in the NFC Championship. Like we expected them to lose like this, but I mean, the Dolphins just really didn't show up against the Colts team that wasn't supposed to be that good.
yeah. And on the Commander side, like you said, Jaden Daniels, he handled business perfectly. It doesn't seem like an indication of a sophomore slump. Seems like it's just right back to business. Um, the rookie running back Bill Krosky-Merritt. I mean, great debut. 10
Oh
carries,
yeah.
82 yards. I mean, give that man more carries. I mean, he deserves it.
Right, definitely. I mean, yeah, and they when they traded away Brian Robinson Jr., that was like, oh, like they must have a lot of confidence in this guy, and it definitely showed out.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that thing? It was funny that that guy who drafted number one overall in fantasy thought it was Bijan and drafted Brian Robinson. That was
receiving
great.
wise, Terry had a slow day, but it's just week one. I mean, that's not an indication. Debo had a pretty solid day, 7 for 77. I mean, could we see Debo Samuel back into 2021 Debo? Who knows?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, he's kind of returning as like what he was doing with the 49ers as a gadget player. And also the 49ers or the Commanders are starting to get kind of like stacked because they were toying around with Terry McLaurin for a while, but eventually they locked that down and signed him back. Where it's like it took them a while to do that. They were worried they weren't going to get him back. I don't know whether I don't know. Contract negotiations are funny. I mean, you just look at the Cowboys who didn't even get their guy back, and then the Bengals who ended up getting Trey Henderson at like the last second. Where it's like I don't know. I think Terry
Yeah.
McLaurin's definitely going to improve. And with guys like Zach Ertz, and then Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt's great, and then Debo's played great. Debo, I mean, not only like you said the 77 yards, but then he had that rushing touchdown where it's like he's back to kind of what he was on the
Yeah.
49ers as a gadget player, and I think he's really going to do well, honestly.
Yeah. And defensively, I mean, they were great. I mean, Bobby Wagner. I missed that dude. He was great. 5 tackles. I
Right,
mean, the sack numbers were also. I think they had says 2 sacks. I mean, which is I mean, it felt like that Russell Wilson got sacked almost every play. I mean, bro was just looking lost out there.
right. Yeah, and with Bobby Wagner, when he left the Seahawks for the Rams, I was like, oh, that sucks. But then he went back, so I was like, oh, is he going to finish out his career there? But then he just immediately left afterwards. So yeah,
Yeah, it has been like an interesting couple of years for Bobby. I mean, but now he's found a solid home in Washington.
yeah, the other Washington, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this was one of the more entertaining games of the week. Buccaneers Falcons, and it was really close. Falcons ended up losing 20-23, but there was a key missed field goal by Young Koo that could have forced it to overtime. And Michael Penix played great. Baker Mayfield played great. And I mean, the biggest story coming out of this one was Emeka Egbuka, 2 touchdown passes. Both teams played great, honestly. I think they're going to have great futures. And I think one of those teams is going to be the winner of that NFC South division.
This game was like tough for me to root for because I love Baker and I love Penix. I mean, Huskies. I mean, I
Hmm.
and I love Penix so much, but I also love Baker. I mean, this was just a sadly someone had to lose.
Right.
I mean, but what a
I mean, the
show by
highlight, yeah.
Emeka Abuba. Abuba. 4 7 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a way to start your career out.
Right. And obviously Ohio State is sort of a machine with wide receivers, but he was almost thought of as like a backup basically to Jeremiah Smith last year. And Jeremiah Smith was getting all the hype, but Jeremiah Smith ended up having another year in college. He comes back, and then Emeka Ibuka goes to the draft, and man, he played great. And Ohio State, I mean, there's so many Ohio State wide receivers in the league now. And I think we're waiting for a lot of them to really get to like that like superstar status where we had Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe he'll break through. Chris Olave, we were talking about his hospital balls, just his health. That's really unfortunate. Garrett Wilson, where Emeka Egbuka is really playing well.
I mean, JSN. I mean, like
Oh
JSN
yeah,
was
of course.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and then especially with the Seahawks losing Metcalf and Lockett in the same year,
Yeah.
he's definitely going to need to fill in for that starting role for
Yeah.
sure. And I think he's up for the challenge because that's a great player.
Bijan. I mean, uh, he had a great day receiving. I mean, it was like the first catch he had. He went like 50 yards to the end zone. I mean, that was surprising.
Yeah, and I mean Michael Penix. The awareness when they were down four, and I believe it was fourth down, and he ran for like 10 yards.
Yeah.
He got tackled at like the 5 yard line, but the awareness to stick your hand in the dirt and then fight through the tackle and stretch the ball to the end zone, like just the awareness there and like understanding where you are on the field. Yeah,
It just something out of faith, man. It was insane. I mean, like I was going crazy at that
I
moment.
know. I was really wanting that field goal to go in. That really sucked because Young Koo, he's not a guy
Yeah.
that usually has those types of misses. He's usually
Yeah.
pretty good with that.
Yeah, it's it's pretty rare to see. It just happens sometimes.
Right, yeah, and we had a few kicking mistakes throughout the day, and especially with the Browns game against the Bengals, where Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase didn't really show up. The offense wasn't that great, but that's what we're kind of used to with the Bengals. They do weird stuff in week one. Sometimes it's the first three
Yeah,
weeks where they start 0-3 for no reason. I don't know. I don't really know why. That's just kind of what they do. And but here's why I'm kind of like more optimistic about the Bengals because they usually lose this game. They lost 10-16 to the Patriots last year. They usually play bad in this first game and they lose. And I know they should have, but the fact that they won anyway, that's really going to be huge down the line come playoff time when those wins are so valuable. The fact that they stole this one, then they really shouldn't have.
the Bengals really stole this game. I did not expect them to win this game. I actually had Cleveland winning because it is we know with the Bengals they struggled the first couple of weeks in the
Right.
season. I mean, evidently from the stats, they also struggled this game. And Burrow was 4 for 23, 113 yards, a touchdown. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase didn't have great performances. Um, and like as we expected, the Bengals struggled. It just the Browns kicker missed key field goal.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. And of course, the interceptions that Joe Flacco threw weren't really his fault. Where like it kind of felt like they almost handed the game away, literally, because Jerry Judy, I think, was the key one that really sealed it, where it just went right off his hands into a Bengals defender. And the Bengals defense was really the question last year, but they brought Hendrickson back and then Jamar Stewart, and then they played decently well against the Browns, albeit
Yeah,
those interceptions weren't really on them or the wide receivers. But I was pretty surprised with how the Browns or not the Browns, the Bengals defense played pretty good.
yeah. It's just with Flacco, he's a gunslinger. He just goes for it. I mean, it's either a touchdown or a pick. I mean, the Bengals defense was good with that. I mean, with the Browns, I mean, I didn't expect like a huge performance. It was just we're just waiting to see until Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders starts. I mean, Flacco's just there for now, just filling in.
Yeah, I know. And the Browns, I mean, their quarterback room was so weird, where they had Deshaun Watson and then Kenny Pickett, which they ended up trading away Kenny Pickett, and like I don't know. I still like Gabriel a little more than Shador. I think both are solid, but Gabriel had a lot more success in college, and if with Shador, what he did at Colorado when he got his jersey like retired with the requirements and everything that he did at Colorado, Dylan Gabriel's jersey should be at three different stadiums. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but I don't know. I think one of those guys could be the future, because it's not Flacco. We know he's getting up there, but Flacco can still sling it, and he definitely proved that.
bro got rocked this game. I mean, although it was Miles Garrett, I mean, and Miles Garrett is like probably the
I
best
know.
defense player in the league. Him or PS2. Yeah. But he
Oh
got
yeah.
rocked, and that O line still has question marks, and it just they just have to make Burrow like stay upright. I mean, as long as Burrow's there, you always have a chance, but you gotta keep him healthy, and that's the problem that I see with the Bengals. So it's been like this is year 6 for Burrow, and they still haven't been able to fix that O line issue. And it's just like how many more times can he get injured until like it really just and until like he wants out or like Zach Taylor gets fired.
Right. Yeah. And their defense was really solid. Like their defense was one of the main reasons why they won all those playoff games and why they had their Super Bowl appearance and were in the AFC Championship 2 years in a row. And it felt like even though the offense was good, they didn't show up as much as they should have in the playoffs and kind of got like bailed out a lot by their defense. Not to say that they didn't play well, but like their defense was the story in a lot of those playoff games. Like in the Titans game a few years ago, that game sealing pick. In that Chiefs game, they had a pick in overtime that won the game. Where it really feels like when that defense is clicking, this team is scary. And last over the
Yeah,
past couple of years where they've missed the playoffs, like Joe Burrow has had injuries, and what happened to his hand, that was unfortunate. Like the fact that he's still playing at a
yeah,
high level after what happened to his hand is crazy. But their offense has taken so many leaps where it's like if the defense can get back to where it was when the defense led them basically to that Super Bowl, this team could be scary
yeah.
because the offense is only getting better, especially last year. I think that was definitely Joe Burrow's best year, not only statistically, but I mean, there were a couple things where
I mean,
maybe you could have done better, but I mean, in terms of like a stat standpoint, like the offense wasn't the problem for the first time in a minute for the Bengals.
and I'm not worried about the Bengals offense after this game. I mean, we've seen the same story like so many years in a row now. The Bengals offense will be fine. it really just comes down to, as you mentioned, the defense. Will the defense step up again against, of course, better quarterbacks as they go later down in the season? I mean, obviously, Flacco isn't the caliber of like a Mahomes, Allen, or Lamar.
Right. And I think the biggest point that I talked about in the past was that the Bengals, if they're in a matchup with the Ravens, right, and they ball out, they have 38 points, and sure they were up 38 to 28 with 5 minutes left, end up losing that game in overtime. It's like you gave up 41 points to the Ravens, fine. That's the Ravens. That's what happens. But last year when they gave up 41 points to the Steelers, that's when it's like, oh, like that's not just because of how good the Ravens are. That's just kind of on the defense where it's like they'll give up that much points to anybody. So really hoping that that improves because that offense is too good to be wasted like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have really much to say about this game. I mean, Bengals escaped the win. I mean, but they'll take these wins.
Right.
I mean, ugly wins are better than pretty losses. We all know that.
Right. Yeah. A win's a win, exactly. And they usually play bad in week one, as we
Yeah,
mentioned, but that's why it's really impressive that they ended up getting the win despite playing bad.
yeah,
They got to win even on their worst day, which is usually week one. Then we had a very interesting game between the Raiders and the Patriots. And the Patriots, they were coming in with a surprising amount of hype. They were a lot of people's wild card team. Like a lot of people snuck them into the playoffs in their prediction. I thought that was a little crazy, but it's like I could see it happening, especially because Mike Vrabel's a great coach. But so is Pete Carroll, and the Raiders ended up winning 20-13. It was a very interesting one.
I mean, on that point of like sneaking in, that was actually my bold prediction coming in. Like the Patriots sneak in, with Vrabel and with Drake May going to the second year. I mean, with Josh McDaniels as OC again. I mean, it just felt like the
Right,
Patriots were gonna be better. I mean, obviously, I didn't think that they're gonna compete with the Bills for the division, but I expect them to perform better. But I don't know. It just seems like that Pete Carroll had a great game plan this game. I mean, Drake May still had a solid day, but it just felt like the offense wasn't clicking as what I thought it was going to be.
right. Yeah, and I mean the Raiders not so much either. Where Gino didn't play that bad, but then Ashton Genty's first game where he did have a touchdown, but in terms of what he averaged, it was not great. It was just around 2 yards per carry, so not great. Where he
Yeah,
ran almost 20 times and like barely doubled that in terms of yardage. Where Gino did really solid though, 24 for 34, 362 yards and a touchdown. He did have an interception, but he did enough to win this game by a touchdown. And I'm more worried about the Patriots now because I don't know. I just expect them to show up a little better.
it
Yeah,
it just felt like yeah. It just felt like that the game plan coming in for Mike Vrabel and the defense was like we gotta stop Ashton Genty, but then they don't. I mean, Gino was a pretty good quarterback. I mean, I've seen him like play for the Seahawks like firsthand. I mean, he is solid when his number is called.
right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Ashton Genty was, of course, the big story coming into the draft, the top running back taken. And he was like taken high in a lot of like fantasy drafts as well. People were really high on him before he played a snap of football in the NFL. But I think he definitely could be solid. But they did do their job. They definitely limited Ashton Genty, but Gino did pretty well. And despite the pick, the Raiders get the win there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had 49ers
I,
Seahawks. This one was very interesting. And the Seahawks, I don't know, they got rid of Geno, they got rid of Lockett and Metcalf, and they did bring in Darnold, but like I don't know. And then the 49ers, all of a sudden they lost so many players, and then now Brock Purdy's going to be out for several weeks. Like the 49ers are so injury riddled. It's like we season after season, it keeps happening, but
yeah.
they did find a way to sneak a win here.
Yeah. I mean, it clearly shows that CMC had a great day. I mean, when CMC is healthy, he's arguably one of the best recently. Arguably the best.
Right. That feels so rare though when he is healthy. Yeah. Cuz
Yeah.
even like at yeah,
And then Ricky Pearsall, I mean, he had a great
right.
day. 4 receptions, 180 yards. I mean, get that guy more
I
targets.
know. Yeah, I don't know. Like that guy's determination is crazy. 'Cause I remember last year was a big story where
Yeah.
he had like after he got shot in the chest. Which
Yeah.
how do you get shot in the chest and then just continue life like nothing happened? That's crazy. But then he was in the gym like the next week, where it's like, what?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, PTSD from that is probably insane. But I mean, props to him. And then here, another game, kicker struggles. I mean, Jake Moody, 1 for 3. I mean, if he made those kicks, the game probably wouldn't have been as close as it was. And Purdy
Mm.
like got pretty lucky on this game. I mean, two picks, two touchdowns, 277. I mean, that game winning touchdown was just like he just threw it up in the air, and luckily, the tight end got it over Wolf.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, Ricky Pearsall, he was doing pretty good for Florida back in the day, but he had taken so many hospital balls at Florida where you wonder if that kind of molded him into the type of determination he has today.
Yeah,
Where, I mean, the 49ers, it's so weird where it's like they lost Talion Hufanga, they lost Dre Greenlaw, and now Brock Purdy's out for several weeks. George Kittle's out for several weeks,
yeah,
where I feel like this team could be really solid. And the fact that the one player that you would expect to be injured is CMC is active. There was some uh, a bunch of like stuff coming out about his calf, but he ended up looking okay. But that might derail the 49ers season again. It
yeah,
feels like every year or so. It felt like every other year they had like a season where they just completely get derailed by injuries, but that was last year. Like this year they were supposed to return to form. So
yeah.
yeah, just unfortunate. I don't know if they need to improve the rehab centers. I don't know what's going on over there in San Fran, but something's happening where just players continuously get injured.
Yeah, it could also be just a coaching thing. I
Right.
mean, like, I don't know how Kyle Shanahan like goes at it during practice. Maybe he goes a little bit too hard during practice. And the thing about Brock Purdy was that I was shocked to see this morning that he's out. Like, did he get injured in practice? Was there like a headline or something, or was it like just in the game and then he just felt like there's something wrong with his
Right.
toe?
Yeah. And the 49ers have always been weird about this, where I know Christian McCaffrey, he had kind of had injury issues before he got there from the Panthers, but in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, where like remember I believe it was Dre Greenlaw when they were just running onto the field, he just
Yeah,
randomly collapsed, where it's like it feels like this team is cursed.
yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, is the medical staff? Is it really just a curse, like you said? It just they've just been derailed injuries. And on the Seahawks side, if we go, I mean, Darnold played all right.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but rushing wise, I mean, Kenneth Walker. I mean, that guy has fallen off
I
a
know.
cliff since
Yeah,
his
I
rookie
know.
year. 10 carries, 20 yards. I mean, it really just feels like that Zach Charbonnet should be running back one now.
Right. Yeah, Charbonnet is good. Yeah, I don't know. The Seahawks, I wasn't too hyped on them going into it because if the 49ers were supposed to return the form and then the Rams were supposed to be good as well, where it's like and even the Cardinals won as
Yeah,
well. I think the Seahawks were
yeah.
the only team in their division that didn't win. But yeah, I don't know. And with that division getting tougher, but now
I
if the
mean,
49ers fall off a cliff, maybe that door's back open for the Seahawks. And there was a lot of stuff going into this week about Matthew Stafford's back, but he ended up being fine. So maybe the Rams still have their number one spot. But I don't know. We'd like to see more out of Sam Darnold, where it's like he threw for 150 and his efficiency
yeah.
was pretty good, but he didn't take too many risks. He didn't have a pick. He didn't have a touchdown, nothing like that. Anything that would have got them closer into this game. So,
I mean, he did have that fumble though, but that was also a great play by Bosa as well to drive the lineman back into.
right. Yeah, and then 49ers, they just traded for Brian Robinson Jr., and he did okay. 9 carries
Yeah,
for 33 yards, but yeah, McCaffrey definitely looked a lot better. And he looked like how he was like a few years ago, but last year, I mean, the 49ers just continuously have issues with injuries, and that's really what's going to end up holding them back. Not only the players that they lost, but like if they really can't keep their team healthy.
fantastic day for JSN. 9 receptions, 124 yards. I mean, dude is a baller. But it honestly just comes to the point where I'm like, is Seattle really the best place for his talents? I mean, he is insane, and I would like to see him win. And I don't know if Seattle's the best situation for that right now. I mean, like obviously, Milrow, we still have to see him. I mean, we just have to wait and
Right.
see when his number is called and see what the future holds with him. And it's just Seattle has a lot of questions, and we just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean,
And yeah.
defensively, I thought Seattle played fine. I mean, only holding the 49ers 17 points. I mean, the Seahawks should have won this game. The Niners got lucky and escaped.
Right.
And
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it was just a interesting game. I mean, it's week one. I mean, I expect much out of both teams.
Yeah.
It's really just the Rams division to lose. And on the Rams, I mean, the Rams didn't play that good as well. We'll touch on that a little bit later.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. And with of course, losing Lockett and Metcalf, it was really huge for Jackson Smith and Jigba to have a great season. And so far, he's definitely filled that role. And the
Yeah.
division, I don't know if it's necessarily up for grabs if the Rams keep playing solid, but they could have that chance to go above the 49ers, who are in IR Mageddon once again. Then we had the Titans at the Broncos. And this one, I was very disappointed in my Broncos. I was really excited for this game, and especially like a home game against the Titans that were the worst team in the league last year that are fielding a rookie QB in his first ever game. I really expected us to do a lot better. Now, granted, our defense played great, but it was such an ugly game because our offense should have done a lot better. And the play calling, it's like we were really trying to lose this game and our defense wouldn't let us.
Yeah, it just I mean hopefully not, but I just felt like the Bo Nix might be heading towards a sophomore slump. But it's just one game, and uh, it was just a trap game to be honest. I mean like these games happen. It just felt like that the Broncos just didn't want to win this game. But defensively, you guys are solid. I mean you guys played great. I mean Cam Ward 12 28 112 yards. But honestly, those numbers are kind of misleading. I felt like Cam Ward played way better than his stats showed. The receivers didn't play that good at all. I mean, but then again, I mean, this team was the worst team in the league, so I mean, wouldn't expect much.
Right. Yeah, and that Broncos defense definitely looks really solid. And I mean, they're top two defensive players in Patrick Surtain and Nick Bonito. Last year, Patrick Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year, and Bonito, I think he was fourth in voting. And then they
Yeah,
pair that with a lot of great players. I mean, they brought in Taliano Hufanga, who was great for the Niners, and he really had a great day. And they brought in Dre Greenlaw, still waiting for his injury to heal up before he starts
yeah,
playing. But even a guy like Riley Moss, who they had drafted like a few years ago, and it's taken a while to really incorporate him, where he had like came back, but he was still injured, and so he had let up some touchdowns, so he kind of got shunned for that. But he returned to form. He's out of Iowa, one of those guys where people forget about him because Cooper DeJean was that big story out of Iowa of being a white corner, but like Riley Moss did do it first, just people didn't realize when he did it. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, but of course it's Iowa once again. That's kind of yeah. But I mean the Titans not too optimistic about them, and the fact that the
yeah,
Broncos, yeah, it almost felt like the Broncos were doing like they gave them so many chances too, because like there was like a 4th and 8 where the Broncos were in field goal range. And I understand not wanting to go for the kick because you don't want to give them that field position. So why don't we just punt it? Why are you going for it on 4th and 8 and then you end up just having Bo Nix rolling and just throwing it not even near the guy, just throwing it away and just continuously giving the Titans good field position for no reason, almost like daring them to try and win it. And of course, the defense locked in and obviously stopped that from happening. But it's like, why do we keep giving them opportunities? Like, if that keeps happening, that's not going to fly against a better team
yeah,
because the Titans weren't supposed to be that great. Worst team in the league.
yeah,
It's their first ever start with Cam Ward. They were
yeah,
not supposed to win this game. They were supposed to lose it by a lot more. Giving a team these types of chances and just the horrible play calling down the stretch, that's definitely not going to fly against teams like the Chiefs in a year where the Broncos were picked a lot to win this division. So it's really it was really upsetting, and I hope it continues week to week. But this is rough.
yeah. That 4th and 8 play call just had me lost. I mean, like I didn't expect Sean Payton to do that. I mean, like either if it's not in field goal range, punt the ball. Like you're daring um the Titans to go win the game. I mean, obviously Cam Ward's a rookie. The Titans aren't good. I mean, you guys were lucky, but this is not going to fly, as you said, against like a Patrick Mahomes.
Right, definitely not. And I mean, Bo Nix very disappointed. 3 total turnovers, like that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this week
And
against the
yeah,
Colts, I mean, it's gonna be a interesting game for both quarterbacks. I mean, I think the Colts have a solid defense. I mean, we'll see with Bo Nix. Is he having that sophomore slump, or like is this game just like a crap game and it happened? A lot of questions to be had. And like, because I honestly thought this game would like end like 34 to like 13 or something like that. It was like not gonna be close at all.
right. Yeah, and now going into that one where we had thought we had 2 gimmies going in, where now we played a rough game against the Titans. Defense was great, but very strange game. Very nice that they didn't allow a touchdown, so that was pretty cool. But then you go into week 2, and you're playing a Colts team that all of a sudden has improved a lot, and all of a sudden you start looking at them and Pierce, Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, where you start thinking, oh, and especially how they played with Daniel Jones, like all of a sudden that might be a tricky game. And I mean, just 3 total turnovers for Bo Nix. In any other game, And against any other team, you would think maybe against like the Dolphins or the Saints, maybe you would think that would cost us the game. And so, like we said, that's definitely not going to fly. So, really hoping we see some massive improvement from Bo Nix and see more of kind of when he figured it out last year. I'm hoping it's just week one jitters, as we've kind of said
Hopefully.
for guys like James Conner that didn't show up, just like across the board. Just I'm really hoping that's all it is because this it really was an embarrassment.
Yeah. It offensively just unexpected, but defense seems great. I mean, I feel like that your defense is going to continue to be better of the season. We just have to wait and see how Bo Nix improves. Because if this thing doesn't get fixed, this decision making play calling, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of heads like confused. I mean, who knows? Sean Payton's job could be at risk, or I don't know. Bo Nix might get benched. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. I mean, and it could also just be an overreaction. I mean, it's week one. There's gonna be a lot of overreactions. We just have to wait and see.
Right. And this year, it really was supposed to be a great year for the Broncos, where they were supposed to start hovering and get into those talks of possible Super Bowl bubbles. Because not only were they a solid team last year that obviously had a great defense, had the defensive player of the year. Bo Nix played pretty great. And if Jaden Daniels didn't exist, Bo Nix surely wins rookie of the year. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because it felt like all the needs were addressed as well, where it felt like last year, it's like, yeah, the defense is good, but people don't like to throw to Patrick Surtain's side of the ball, so the other side's a little weak. Okay, we'll draft a first round corner. Having a little trouble with the pass catchers and the tight end position is lacking. Okay, we bring in Evan Ingram. The running is like not as good. Okay, we'll draft RJ Harvey and bring in J.K. Dobbins, where it felt like they were really addressing the needs, and it felt like we were getting to the point where we could be a decently complete team, and it really just didn't show up on the field.
Yeah, it really didn't there. But I'll just have to wait and see
Yeah,
to like give like a final remark on Bo Nix and the Broncos offense. Just gotta wait. This next game though, Packers Lions. I mean, wow, Packers look fantastic.
right. I know. And especially coming off of the Micah Parsons trade, they were really supposed to improve. And I feel like everything that's happened with the Lions, there's only been like so much where it's like, oh, they're supposed to get worse and worse. Where they had their best year. I don't know if it was the best in franchise history, but it was certainly up there where they got the number one seed. And they got embarrassed in that second round
Yeah,
of the playoffs against the Commanders. And they didn't lose close either. It was like 45-30 or something. It was an ugly performance, so we were worried that would leak into this year. But then they lose their
yeah,
both of their coordinators, and Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, to the Bears and the Jets. So then you start looking at this year, and it's like, oh, like especially this game, you see how valuable those guys were because in terms of like players, they didn't really lose too much because there's still Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs. That defense still has Hutchinson. Like you wouldn't think that it would be a drop off like this, but it's also possible that the Packers are just that good because all of a sudden the Packers. I don't know if you say they're the best team in the league, but I
yeah.
think you say
I
that
mean,
they might be the most
Jared
complete
Goff.
team right now.
I mean, obviously, Lions fans are gonna hate this, but here comes the question: is he a Ben Johnson merchant, a Sean McVay merchant, a merchant of great offensive play callers? It's, yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And a guy like Jordan
this is
Love, I
their
believe this is his eighth year in the league.
sixth.
And I know it's his
Yeah,
what? Sixth?
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
spent so much
This
time
is
on the
third year
bench.
starting.
But yeah, but I believe yeah. I'll see if this was true because I think that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers both won their only Super Bowls in their sixth year in the league. So maybe this is a Super
Could
Bowl
be.
year
I
for
mean, like
the Packers to keep that
it's
trend
just
going.
crazy. In 30 years, the Packers had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and only had two Super Bowls. I mean, you would expect way more Super Bowls out of that.
I know, like, well, the Ravens won the same amount of Super Bowls with Joe Flacco and Trent Dilfer. Like, that's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
it's just
Yeah,
like they had like two like all time like top 10 quarterbacks, and like Jordan Love. I mean, obviously he's not there yet, but like I mean he's shown great improvement. I mean, no turnovers this game, which is actually shocking honestly because like Jordan Love has that Brett Favre tendency. I mean, dude just a mix of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I love it's I saw a meme where it said it's like the devil and the angel on the shoulder where Aaron Rodgers like play it safe and then Brett Favre is like no ball like it's like that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but Micah Parsons, I mean, he had limited action, but he got a sack though.
Yeah, I know. And the Packers just feel like they're continuously improving. And Jordan Love, they got so lucky that that draft pick hit. Otherwise, they were gonna
Yeah.
get yeah, yeah. I don't know. And then
Um,
they got yeah,
it just really felt like that the Lions just seemed lost out there with Ben Johnson offense. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries, 19 yards. I mean, receiving wise, Jahmyr Gibbs, 10 receptions, 31 yards. It just felt like check down, a gain of a yard, like loss of yards. It just felt like the offense was stuck. The creativity that there was last year was just gone.
right, yeah. And I mean, on the flip side with the Packers, they're really doing great, and they got rid of Aaron Jones. Kind of read as he was starting to regress, even though he's still doing solid for the Vikings. And then they brought in Josh Jacobs, and he's been phenomenal. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, you look through their receiving core, like they have so many guys that are like very much like on like similar levels with Dobbs, Reeds, Wicks, and then the tight end Kraft, the first round pick in Golden. Who would have thought the Packers would have taken a wide receiver in the first round?
Shocking. But I mean, wasn't the draft in Green Bay as well? Yeah. It
I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, it was just crazy because like I just remember him like going crazy with the crowd and stuff. But yeah, Matthew Golden first game, 2 receptions, 16 yards. I mean, obviously we just have to wait and see. I mean, because like the thing about the Packers is that like they had so many great wide receiver twos. They didn't have a solid wide receiver one, and maybe Matthew Golden can be that wide receiver one. And then they have like great depth at wide receiver after him, and with Dobbs, Reed, Wicks. I mean, just solid players.
Right. And I know they don't have a solid number one option, but in terms of depth, they're certainly doing better than a lot of teams in the league. And with tight
Yeah.
ends like Musgrave and Kraft that are pretty consistent, the Packers could certainly be scary. And with Micah Parsons and that defense continues to improve, we'll see how they do going forward. Then we had one of the more, I don't know if you say surprises, but one of the more like off games where you had the Texans and the Rams, and we had kind of mentioned earlier where Matthew Stafford's back was a very big talking point. We didn't know how well he was going to play, and I mean he did enough to play to win this game against the Texans. I mean the Texans really just didn't show up. Stroud had a pick. Just yeah, I'm only 9 points overall. It's just rough.
Yeah, I don't know. CJ Stroud, I mean, phenomenal rookie year, and it just ever since he told Caleb Williamson to not take those hits, I mean, bro has fallen off a cliff after that. It's been insane.
Yeah, I think he was very just in talking to him like that though, because I mean Stroud had the best year for a rookie at that point. Where maybe you say Jaden Daniels certainly had a better year immediately after, but like if anyone knows how to have like that type of success very early on in career, it was him. I was kind of weirded out why people were kind of shaming him for that, where I felt like he's the best person to give that kind of advice. And Caleb Williams does have to watch out for that because Caleb Williams has been struggling. And they did start to figure it
Yeah,
out last year, but that Hail Mary really broke him. And then we're still kind of waiting, where we'll get to later, where we're still waiting for Caleb Williams to kind of break out. But yeah, I don't know. CJ Stroud, he didn't really show up too much. And he had already regressed last year from a great rookie year, but he had still won a playoff
yeah,
game. So we kind of gave him a pass. But like, I don't know. If he continues to regress, this could be an issue as their division is suddenly becoming more competitive.
yeah. I mean, we have to wait and see. Rushing wise, Nick Chubb, 13 carries, 60 yards. I mean, is Nick Chubb back? I mean, that was nice to see. Receiving wise, just solid. I mean, Nico had a decent day receiving. I mean, it just the offense just felt stuck in the mud as like basically the entire year last year. Like the Texans' offense is stuck.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And then unfortunate in that wide receiver room where they no longer really have Tank Dell, who's had that terrible injury. I wonder if we'll see
Yeah,
him
I feel so
again.
bad for him.
I know that was so terrible, and it sucked because he was
Yeah,
like he's a much smaller guy. So then that hit it just really just broke him. That was really unfortunate.
yeah. On the Rams side, I mean, they had a decent day. I mean, Stafford was all right, 21 for 29, 245, a touchdown. I'm rushing. Kyron was all right on the ground. Puka, I mean, I thought Puka was gonna be out, because like I think he's like bleeding from his eye or something.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he had a solid day. 10 receptions, 130 yards. And Devontae as the number two, 451. solid day. I mean, it just didn't feel like on scoreboard the Rams were decent offensively, but they were. I mean, Texans have a good defense. It was one of those slow paced, boring games. But I mean, as a Rams fan, I'd be happy that we got the dub.
Right. Yeah, it would be as well. And with many teams that played really well and ended up coming out with the loss, where it's like it's better, as you said, it's better to have a pretty an ugly win than a pretty loss. And we certainly saw that with the Ravens the other night. Definitely the game of the week.
Yep. This game was arguably the best Sunday night football game I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms
Yeah,
of
this.
week one, it was huge. And I mean, the Steelers and Jets, that was the game of the week for a few hours until that one. Yeah.
I I mean, the way this game was going. I mean, Lamar, Derrick Henry, they were just like running all over the Bills. I mean, it just felt like the game was gonna be over.
Right. Yeah. Man, the Bills, the way they run the 2-minute drill, like they're so effective at it, where you see twice in this game, because they had that one at the first half where somehow the guy got out and the clock still had
Yeah.
a second on it. So they were able to kick that field goal. And that ended up really being a decider as well when you look at the final score. So, I mean, geez, the Bills,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. As a Josh Allen fan and a Bills fan, I'm like, I was kind of happy about that. But let's be honest here, that there shouldn't have been a second left on the clock. They got kind of lucky there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, because when they were looking at the clock, it did look like it had a second, but like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just so close, and the Ravens were already in the locker room where it's like, I don't know if that's a play that they can really like review like that if it's not at the
yeah,
end of the game. So I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
but I
mean,
mean,
but like,
yeah,
I mean, Lamar played fantastic this game. 14 or
I
9,
know.
209 yards, touchdowns, 70 yards on the ground, a touchdown. And Derrick Henry, that guy is 31, 32. Man, that guy does not get worse. I mean, he gets better with age. It's insane. It's like he's not human.
Right, yeah, and the Ravens defense was really supposed to improve a lot. Both of these defenses really, because the Bills brought
Yeah,
in um Joey Bosa as well, and so they were supposed to
yeah,
really improve. And then the Ravens, I mean, yeah, I don't know. And they brought in Jair Alexander, which was supposed to be a big get, who has been great for the Packers. But there were two plays where he kind of did cost him the game because he had the PI that basically moved the Bills inside the 5 that gave him a touchdown because I think it was like third down or maybe it was fourth, but
yeah,
yeah, kind of giving them a touchdown there. And then towards the game, on a play where he should have given him a touchdown, where he tackles the guy, he shoestring tackles him, where it's like,
yeah,
if you just let him score, you can get that ball
yeah.
back. But once you tackle him there in that spot, you have to have some more awareness, I think, because they were already like a field goal would have won it, and they were already in field goal range when he did it. Where it's like, if he's gonna score, you just gotta let him. Yeah.
Watching this game, it really just felt like players like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, they're just way above everyone else in the league. It feels like that they're playing a different game.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's
They're a different
insane.
breed
It
for
was like
sure.
that quarterback duo was insanity. I mean the Bills. Let me Josh Allen stats: 33, 46, 394, 2 touchdowns. I mean, I saw a stat or something, and Josh Allen had like 250 yards in the fourth quarter alone. I mean, it's
I
like
know.
players like these is unbelievable.
Right. Well, yeah, he was the first quarterback to ever do that, which in one quarter, that's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of feels like if you're familiar with like Clay Thompson who scored like 50 in a quarter. So yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. And I mean, I don't know, because this is going to be a huge game down the line when it comes to tiebreakers.
yeah,
Because I feel like those
yeah.
teams, I think, and especially for week one, it's crazy that we got this game so early because it feels like that game is going to be the decider for who gets that bye.
I mean, really though, I'm like obviously Casey's in the mix, but like with Kansas City losing on Friday, this game really just meant like a whole lot because like it really just set the tone. I mean, like schedule wise, the Bills have a really easy schedule now, and their path is clear to the 1 seed.
Right. And in terms of the playoffs and in terms of like head to heads, who knows how great the Chiefs are going to be. I certainly think they're
Yeah,
going to do well enough to be in the playoffs because that's kind of what they do. But I don't think they're at that level where they can be as consistent as the Ravens and the Bills in terms of wins. And I think those teams, I don't think the Chiefs are going to rout them when it comes to wins, especially how tough their division is getting. And I know the Ravens is too, but they always seem to figure something out. Yeah, I don't know. And
yeah,
the
and
Raven,
like
yeah,
this game felt like more like a Ravens collapse than a Bills comeback. I mean, it's like we've seen this in the Ravens so many times. It just comes to a point where it's like, is John Harbaugh really the guy? Like, there's could you actually win with him? Like, I mean, Lamar, Derrick Henry played slum. I mean, obviously Derrick Henry had that fumble, but like that wasn't really the big reason why I lost the game. I mean, it just felt like the defense and like late game adjustments, and like even when the Bills scored and like they didn't get the 2 point conversion, the Ravens had the ball back on 3rd and 8. Like you either have to run a deeper route or like you have to know on 4th down we're going for it. I'm like the Ravens basically just took the game out of Lamar's hand and said, Josh Allen, go win this game. When Josh Allen has been cooking your defense the entire fourth quarter. I mean that has to come down to coaching.
Right. Yeah, and even though we don't think the Bills have that great of a coaching staff either, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and you see with how McDermott's defense did, letting up 40 points to the Ravens. But honestly, that's a team where you can excuse it. It's like, oh, it's kind of like what we were talking about with the Bengals earlier. It's like, oh yeah, if you give up 40 to the Ravens or the Bills or the Bengals, it's like, well, that's like more acceptable because those are great offenses. It's tough to stop them, but you can't consistently give up that kind of points. So we'll see how these defenses kind of improve as they start to play lesser
Yeah.
opponents. Because I mean, this head to head, both teams had such great players, and even though the defense had good instances, like these offenses were really the story of this game.
Yeah. I mean D Hop, that one handed catch, I mean that thing just got overshadowed by everything. I mean like seems like bro's not
I
washed. I
know.
mean they 7 receptions, 143 yards. I mean, great game out of him. On the Bills side, we're seeing with Keon Coleman, great game. I mean, rushing wise, I mean, like it was just fantastic to do the offensive work, and like you as a neutral fan were probably just enjoying the heck out of this game because like it's a shootout, crazy. I mean, but personally, since I like the Bills, I mean, I'm kind of worried about the defense.
Right. Yeah, I did have some skin in this game. That D Hop touchdown, I like was celebrating like at the same time as I was like, dang it, because Zay Flowers had such a great game, and he was my last line of defense on my fantasy team. Everyone else, a lot of players didn't really show up, and on that play when D Hop caught that touchdown, Flowers, I think he was open on the seam, like right in front, where it's like, no, if Lamar throws it to him there, I win. So I'm like, dang it. But yeah, I don't know. And the Bills, their defense is definitely going to have to go to the drawing board for improvements, but not as much as the Ravens because the Ravens are going to be so sick because they didn't come out with a win. Where at least if you come out of the game, we were like, oh, that was rough. Oh, we didn't play that great, but at least we came out with the win. Where it's like if you lose, like that really just kills your confidence, I'd say. And especially when the Ravens really should have had this one. And even though the Bills played great, like there were certain instances where they really did let them back into it.
Yeah. I mean, shout out Bronco legend Matt Prater. I mean, what a way to like just come in the building 3 days in and hit the game winning field goal. Like, what a moment for him.
I know. Yeah, well, yeah. How many teams has he been on now? Because he was on the Broncos, and then he got busted for possession, and then he ended up going to the Lions, and then the
Yeah.
Cardinals, and now stepping in. I think that it really was a good move to get rid of their current kicker. For some
I
reason,
mean, then
yeah,
get rid of fast. He doesn't injured reserve.
yeah, but I don't know. It's just people are never going to remember his name for missing the field goal against the Chiefs, unfortunately.
Wide right again.
Wide right, yeah. It wasn't as wide as it was, yeah, before, but geez. I mean, there's so many instances in the playoffs where the Chiefs have gotten really lucky. Yeah, I don't know. Like missing a chip shot field goal in the playoffs, like it's like okay, like that's just some dumb luck, you know?
Yeah, but it was just two great teams just facing off. I mean, like one team had to win. Sadly, it just
Right.
happens in a game
Yeah,
in like games like these. I mean, I would say this is the greatest regular season game I've watched since like the Rams Chiefs like thriller. I
I
mean
know.
that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, and I think we could definitely see these teams in the playoffs, and I mean
yeah,
probably the AFC Championship. That's what I hope. I hope this is the AFC Championship, but we'll see. Um,
possibly. I mean, we just have to wait and see. I mean, obviously Kansas City is dangerous in the playoffs, and you never know with that. I mean, Mahomes is fantastic. We just have to
right.
wait and see. I mean, is this the year one of these two teams like get over the hump, and do they finally like reach the Super Bowl, or like maybe possibly winning the Super Bowl?
Right. Yeah. And the Chiefs, yeah, I don't know. And even though they might end up getting them in the playoffs or maybe in some head to heads, I think overall, I think the Bills and Ravens are going to do enough to have a better record. It's certainly going to be a
Yeah,
tougher trek for the Ravens since they've already lost, but they've got an easier schedule coming up. Not a very easy division where I think the Bills are kind of benefit off of that a little more. But I mean, the division's
yeah,
getting tighter because all of a sudden the Jets look pretty solid, and then the Patriots had a disappointing week one. But if they rebound like the team that people predicted, I don't know. I think you can just say, "Oh, the Dolphins. That's rough." Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The Dolphins are just rough. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Okay, the Monday night game. Okay, this game I was not as excited for it because like, obviously it wasn't as good as Sunday night game, and this game had a lot of expectations to live out. But it turned out to be a pretty solid game. I mean, Vikings Bears.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It took JJ McCarthy a while to figure it out, and it took a minute for Caleb Williams to forget how to figure it
yeah,
out. Where it's like they really just traded places. I mean, Caleb
yeah,
Williams looked solid for a while, and yeah, JJ
yeah,
McCarthy didn't look great. But yeah, McCarthyism is here. He came in the fourth quarter and did a lot better, and really just pulled them out of the gutter. Where it's like JJ McCarthy, I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, the Bears gonna bear. I'm like seriously, like I mean, we expected better. I mean, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, they came out firing out of the gate. I mean, I still feel like Caleb had a solid day on the ground. It's just that the way they collapsed in the end, and then like shout out JJ McCarthy. I mean, what a great fourth quarter.
I know. Yeah,
Um,
JJ McCarthy, that was insane. And we know Ben Johnson's ability to scheme, and we can see how valuable he really was to the Lions with their performance. Where the Bears, they really did choke this one. I mean, not as bad as the Ravens. That's the one everyone's going to remember after this week. So they're
yeah,
they're kind of lucky that that overshadowed it. But like
really.
the Bears really should have won this game. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just shocking, like how the losses came. I mean, I definitely like I it was like 17-6, right? I think I turned the game off, um, and then I turned it back on in the fourth quarter. It was like Vikings were on top, like 20-17. I was like, what? How that happened?
I know. Well, I had shut it off and then checked the score later, and I was like, "Oh, like they're back into it," like because it looked like
Yeah,
JJ McCarthy was really struggling, and I think that was huge for him and just huge for the team that he was able to figure that out. And JJ McCarthy, I believe he's only lost 3 games since high school, since he
crazy.
started. Actually, yeah, it's crazy because yeah, Michigan he didn't really lose much, and he hasn't lost
Yeah,
yet. Yeah, I don't know, but that division's tricky because not only do
that
the
like,
Packers look great, and then if the Lions rebound, because maybe the Lions just ran into a buzzsaw. Maybe we give them the benefit of the doubt because the Packers might end up being maybe not the best
in
team, but I mean
I
certainly one of the
mean,
better
yeah,
teams. Yeah,
yeah.
and then yeah, I don't know, and then if the Vikings are solid, and then I don't know, this one was really disappointing for the Bears, and
I'm just
yeah,
the thing about Caleb is that like I still believe he's great. I mean, and like he's still young. He has the opportunity to get better. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of Caleb Williams bust talk, but I mean, I'll hold off on that. It's still early. I mean, we just have to see. But like, you gotta like you got that consistency up. I mean, you can't just like play one half like fantastic, and then like the second half you just like completely just choke the game. I mean, that's something we have to see him develop eventually with time. Running Caleb was fantastic. 6 carries, 58 yards, a touchdown. Maybe we'll see Caleb running the ball more.
right. Yeah, it's just unfortunate when you were the number one pick, and then a lot of the QBs that got drafted after you are really outdoing you. Where you look at Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels, and maybe you can say they got drafted into better situations, but I mean, the Commanders were really supposed to be bad, and of course they had the number two pick. Where the fact that he was
yeah,
able to basically rebuild them, not single handedly, they had a lot of help, but I mean, the fact that he came in and played that great certainly deserved Rookie of the Year. And then Bo Nix made the playoffs as a rookie, and now JJ McCarthy's doing great. Michael Penix looked great in games last year, and then they didn't win, but he looked great this year. Where you start to really get worried where you're like, oh, like, did we miss on like some of this? Because a lot of these guys are kind of starting to play better. So we really need to see more out of Caleb Williams.
yeah. I like saw this meme like earlier yesterday. I think it was like the Bears and Panthers are the first team to like not benefit out of a blockbuster trade with the Bryce Young trade and stuff.
Right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
neither. Yeah.
yeah. It is interesting. I'm like I'll hold off on the Bears side because like I mean obviously Caleb's still young. I mean he still has time, and for Bryce Young, I mean this is his last opportunity. I like Bryce Young and I expected him to like have a better third year. I mean, like I expect him to carry on what he ended off at the second half of his second year, and not the first half of his second year. But it just not the Bryce Young that I expected. I mean, like we just have to wait and see. I mean, maybe he needs to change the scenery. I mean, the Panthers obviously aren't the best team, but like I feel like they improved at wide receiver. I mean, getting Ted McMillan. I mean, Ted McMillan had a solid day in as well. I don't know. It's just a lot of question marks.
Right. Yeah, and it feels like every year, like Ryan Poles, and I know he gets like a lot of credit and a lot of hate, and maybe you say it's justifiable, but as a GM, he's done actually really solid. Where he was a
Yeah,
big
it's
part in getting Caleb Williams and getting all of those picks for Bryce Young, and like everything that he's done. He drafted Luther Burden, where we saw him a little bit, but he's really going to be one of the better wide receivers that really shouldn't have slided that far. Out of Missouri, he was a demon, and then Romo Dunze, just the way they built that team, and then they rebuilt like the offensive line in the offseason with like free agency and like trading, where it's like it feels like every year it's the same old Bears, where it's like they continue to get better throughout, and it feels like they continue to get new players, or they get a good trade where they get more picks, and it seems like it doesn't matter because we're still waiting for it to translate to on-field success.
exactly. It's just like even coaching change. I mean, getting rid of like Eberflus and like now bringing in Ben Johnson and like a new coaching regime. Dennis Allen for D coordinator, and we know Dennis Allen, not great head coach, but a great defensive play caller. It's just we expected the Bears to like show something different. And I don't know what it is. Could just be another curse type thing. I mean, the Bears just like they find ways to just lose games that they shouldn't.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one was very winnable. And last year they weren't that terrible actually for a minute there. And even later in the year they beat the Packers in a close one, but it really, really broke them losing that Commanders game off of that
Yeah,
Hail Mary. I
yeah,
feel
like
like they were never the same after that.
yeah, yeah. That Hail Mary game, for example, they lost the game that they shouldn't have lost. And that game just broke them for the rest of the season.
Right.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's like some moments like these is like I don't know. I'd be sick though as a Bears fan, finally hoping that we'll see something different, and then seeing the same old Bears.
Right. Yeah. And it feels like we're just waiting
Yeah,
for for that. I don't know. And maybe we eventually will, but like we're still waiting. And this one was definitely a very winnable game, and they really should have had this one. This is the Bemba starring Benny King. Thanks for tuning in.